everyone, and welcome to the second episode of the Knitted Away podcast. My name is Alexandra, and I am coming to you from Almaty, Kazakhstan. I recorded my first episodes over a year ago, and then I just disappeared. The reason was I was just not making enough. I made a few things here and there, but nothing much to show. And another reason was I always wanted to make an aesthetically pleasing episode. Everyone on the YouTube is making such beautiful videos, and I wanted to make something like that. So I kept putting off shooting the video, and it just amounted to a whole year. Even this time around, when I decided that I really want to speak about my knitting on the internet and to make a video, I kept putting it off for a couple of months because I wanted to make it pretty. And that's not just my life at the moment. I really have no time or resources for that. So I decided to make an episode as it is. Not in a beautiful location, and I will actually have to split the episodes into a few parts and make it in different days probably, or different times of the day, just because I have so much on my plate at the moment. But I'm very happy to be back, and I also want to say a huge thank you to everyone who commented on my first episode, who gave me a like, because I didn't expect such an overwhelmingly warm and kind welcome in the knitting world. So I want to thank everyone, and I really hope not to disappoint this time and release a monthly episode. So in my first episode, I showed you the two-colored version of the Birkin sweater by Boylan Knitworks. So I frogged the project and I distashed the yarn because I just lost all the inspiration. I couldn't bear to make it anymore. I don't know if you guys have this, but when I burn out or I lose the inspiration, I just can't return to the project. I also showed you a baby blanket. I finished that almost right after the first episode, and we've been using it ever since. I don't actually remember what else I showed you, but I will show you now what I finished last year, and these were the only two things that I have on my hands at the moment, and that I finished in this 1 year gap between the two videos. So the first finished object that I will show you is this sweater, which was a free pattern by Drops Design. If you don't know, Drops makes their own yarn, and they also have a lot of free patterns on their website. So this is one of them. It's called Winter Night Enchantment. I will write down the name of everything that I'm speaking about somewhere on the screen, and I will also try to post a picture somewhere here. I actually left some space intentionally here. So this is a Nordic colorwork round yoke sweater, and in the pattern you were supposed to make stars or dots all over the body as well, and I decided not to go for that. It's a pretty simple pattern, just a very simple round yoke, and you just continue. The only difficulty for me, or not a difficulty but an annoying thing, just because I'm so lazy, was that I had to continue the motif on the sleeves. Now about the yarn. The yarn I made it with is from a Turkish brand, Etrafil. It's been a year, so I can't really remember things very well, but as I said, I will write everything down. And the yarn is called Bambino, and it's a wool and acrylic blend, 60-40, I believe. So the yarn in the skein looked so pretty and yummy, so puffy and soft, but was suspiciously cheap. I don't, maybe I shouldn't say things like that, but you know, it was suspiciously too affordable for how pretty it looked. And if I just realized that if something is too good to be true, it probably is, because I really did not like the yarn. So the fabric looked worn right after I finished the sweater, and not in a good way. And you know, it doesn't even peel that much. It does a little bit, but I've been wearing it for a whole year and it's just a little bit of peeling right here. It's not about the peeling. I'd rather have a peeling fabric than this. I don't know, it's just so shapeless and feels a little bit plasticky. But it's still quite soft, so I wear it a lot, but I would not buy that yarn again. So guys, I am back. It's been a whole day and I have to record in parts, as I said before. It's completely dark outside, so I had to turn on the lights, and then this standing lights as well. I don't know, I think I should take off my glasses because the glare is just too much. I'm fine. If I don't do this now, I will never record the second episode. So let me continue talking about the yarn. As I think I said before, I didn't like it at all. The sweater just looked warm right after I finished it. Worn, not warm. And not in a good way. It's a little bit plasticky. I can't even explain. It's not scratchy or itchy. It's quite soft, and at the same time, it's plasticky. I don't know. I hope you guys understand what I mean. So I don't even remember how many balls I used. I still wear this sweater a lot because it has such a generous positive ease. It's easy to wear and it's just a working horse for me, and I still wear it. And then I had one ball and some leftovers left, and I made of this contrast color, I wanted to say. And I made a vest for my son. He was wearing it last winter, and I hope he still can fit into it. I think he can. And once again, it's okay. It's easy to wear, but mostly because of the color. Oh, the pattern is once again a free Jobs design pattern. It's something in the park vest. I will write down the name. And it's a very simple pattern. I made it just simple, and I meant blank because I wanted to stitch something onto it. I even bought the stitching thread, cross stitching thread, the fluffy one that is kind of like a cloud, and I wanted to make a teddy bear, but then I didn't have time for that, and I'm not planning to do that now. I still will make a teddy bear embroidery. That's what I wanted to say. I wanted to embroider. I still will make a vest or a sweater with embroidery, just it's not going to be this one. So I used to have another sweater quantities of this yarn, but in burgundy color, and I destashed it because I did not like the quality of the fabric that it gave me. Two other finished objects are these toddler sweaters, and this is the same pattern and the same yarn. They're just different colors and different sizes. Let's start with the purple one because it was the first one that I made. I'm sorry if I am rushing, if it feels like I'm rushing. I really am, because I'm running out of time a little bit. So a little bit about the pattern first. It's yet another free Jobs design pattern, and it's called Little Missy. And judging by the name, I thought, and I still think, it's a girl's sweater. But I honestly don't know what makes it a girl sweater. I'm not an expert on Nordic motifs. Is it about the motif? Is there something in it that is female only? I don't know, but I think boys will be fine wearing a girl's motif. They will be fine. And I forgot to tell you that this sweater is for a little boy who is turning 2 this weekend, and he's a son of friends of ours, so this is for him. My second guess about the name of the sweater and why it's a girl's sweater is that in the pattern the body is A-lined, shaped in an A-line, and I modified that. Well, modified is a little bit strong. I just didn't do the increases that would create the A-line. I just knitted the body straight, so I guess the fit is not as feminine. And I was trying to make size 2 for 2-year-olds. I was 100% sure that I cast it on for the size for a 2-year-old, but when I finished the yoke, I realized that the size I was making was for, you can hear my son laughing, for 3 to 4-year-olds. So this is one size or 2 sizes too big for the little boy that I made it for, but I think it's fine. He can still wear it this winter as an oversized sweater, and next year he'll wear it as it's supposed to be worn. A little bit more about the construction. I did make the elevation in the back. I tend to always, when I remember, make the elevations in raglan and round yoke sweaters, just because I feel that they fit better and are more comfortable to wear with an elevation in the back, and it's so easy to make. Why not do it? And you can see that my pattern, my motif, is skipping a little bit. Well, not a little bit, it is skipping, but I also think that it's fine. This is it about the pattern. And this sweater was made second, and it's for my son because I liked the first version so much. I decided to make one for my son as well. I didn't have enough yarn to make it in one color, the 2-color version, so I decided to make yoke and ribbing in one color, which looks blue and looks blue in real life as well, but the company that produced the yarn calls it gray for some reason. And then I made the motif, the contrast color is this cream, almost white, but it's actually cream, mixed with a different oatmeal thread or yarn. And then the body and sleeves are in light violet color. So it's the same sweater, the same elevation, the same skipping of the pattern. But this time I actually made the correct size, and this is size for 2-year-olds. Yes, and it fits my son, who is 1 year and 7 months old at this point, quite well. My fear is always the sleeves. I'm always afraid that the sleeves will be too short, so I always make them 1 or 2 centimeters longer than in the patterns, and this one was the case as well. So at this point we are rolling the sleeves, but I think by the end of the winter he'll wear it. He'll wear the sleeves just as they are. And let's talk about the yarn. Oh, and for this sweater I also made a mistake. I did cast on the correct number of stitches, but I made a mistake somewhere here in the neckline, and then the whole pattern was a little bit screwed up. so I had to adjust as I went so the pattern looked correct and was correct. So about the yarn, I used, just one moment. So I used this yarn, which is by a Russian yarn brand Pichorka, and the yarn is called Ласковое детство, which is translated as tender childhood. And I have one whole new skein just balled up from the purple sweater left, and I still have this beige and chartreuse color left. I have, I think, 3 of these balls and 2 of these, and I actually tried marling them, and they look very pretty marled together. But now when I see it on camera, I actually really like the combination of these colors, but I would prefer to have deep purple, well, purple as the main color and chartreuse as the accent color. But oh, and I forgot to tell you that this is 100% non-superwash merino yarn, and to me this is the perfect yarn. So far I haven't tried too many types of yarn or too many brands of yarn, but this one is my favorite so far. And it's fingering. I forgot to tell you, it's 225 meters per 50 grams, so it's a fingering weight yarn. But the bad news is that I just recently realized that it got discontinued. This brand, they introduced a similar yarn with a similar wool content, I think, and a similar name, but different. And I guess I don't know what the reason was behind that, and I didn't really look that much into it, but all I know is that this yarn is discontinued, and I still have enough to make a grown-up sweater holding it single, and a couple of baby sweaters or toddler sweaters holding it double. And for these sweaters I held it double. So I used 4 balls of purple and 1 ball of cream for this sweater, and I used 2 balls of violet, 1 ball of gray or blue, and half a ball of cream for this sweater. Too bad they discontinued the yarn. Now let's talk a little bit about my stash reducing journey. I didn't make a lot, as you can see, this year, but I did rehome some of the yarn and destashed some of it, and I still made a couple of things, but then rehomed them because I didn't like them for various reasons. And I still have 3 or maybe even 4 sweater quantities, and I still have at least 10 skeins of sock yarn, and I also still have a few random skeins here and there. So that really showed me how much yarn I was buying and not making anything, and really made me think, you know, about maybe I should pay more attention to quality over quantity, even though I always tried and to kind of look for quality yarn. I'm still rethinking it now. I just had a lot of yarn, and still have quite a lot of yarn actually after 1 whole year of not buying yarn. It's crazy, and really shocked me, you can say. So I actually want to show you the yarn that I have left. Well, not all of it, but some of the yarn that I have left and the projects that I chose for it. But I will do it in either a special episode or maybe in the next episode in November, because there would just be too many things around me. So guys, I do realize that my podcasts might not be as interesting and exciting as all other basically people's podcasts, take off my glasses again. Well, because I don't use popular and cool yarn. I don't make popular and exciting patterns. I am just taking it slowly, knitting mostly either free patterns or patterns that I've bought before and that are not as popular at the moment, are not as hot at the moment, because there are so many talented people and hundreds and hundreds of really beautiful and cool designs and knitting patterns that I understand that people want to see those being made, and maybe stuff that I'm making is not as exciting, and the yarn that I'm using is either very budget-friendly yarn from Turkey, because I'm using up my stash, and that's the yarn that I stashed as I can't say not a very experienced knitter, because I've been knitting since I knew how to knit since I was 8, but someone who is probably wasn't taking knitting as seriously. More, I was thinking of it more as just a hobby. I was mostly a process knitter than a project knitter. And now I'm slowly transforming like a butterfly into a project knitter. I want to get a beautiful finished garment or an accessory at the end. So I am paying more attention to the quality of the yarn. But the yarn that is accessible to me, as I said in my first episode, is not the yarn that the rest of the world is knitting with. I want to try some of the cool and exciting yarns, but I have to place an international order and then pay for the shipment. And when I have so much yarn in my stash, it just feels not worth it to order a large batch of yet more yarn that God knows when I will be using. So I'm still keeping my focus on finishing my stash, using it up as much as I can, and finishing my pattern stash, because I have this folder full of patterns that I made, or I mean I purchased, and then I either made before or and want to repeat, or want to make and haven't tried. I will be speaking about this folder of printed out patterns in more detail later when I talk about what yarn I have left and what I want to use it for. But yes, my episodes may not be as exciting as everyone else's, so thank you. I'm even more grateful that you guys come here and watch all of this, even though I'm not showing anything extremely exciting. But that doesn't mean that I don't want to make all the beautiful and exciting and gorgeous patterns that everyone is releasing. I have so many in my favorites on Ravelry, which I have to kind of tidy up a little bit. Haven't been paying too much attention to my Ravelry page either this year, so I have to kind of clean up everything there and bring to order. And another thing that I wanted to point out, yeah, that being said, I'm just very grateful that you guys come here and watch me speak about unpopular patterns, unpopular yarns, and just, free patterns, and not being the it girl of the KnitTube. Doesn't matter really, does it? It's just, what matters is that we enjoy what we're making. And what matters to me lately is that I actually take things slowly and not, experiencing the FOMO but actually giving love to every pattern and every yarn that I have in my stash. Hence, that's why I actually want to repeat some of the patterns from my folder. And another thing that I want to tell you about baby sweaters is that I didn't realize the hype behind making baby clothes before, but now that I have my son and that I started making baby and toddler clothes myself, I understand the hype, and I understand why everyone loves making baby patterns so much. They're so addictive to make. They are easy, quick, they are interesting to make. You don't get bored, you don't have too much of boring stockinette stitch, so I don't suffer with the second sleeve syndrome when I make baby clothes. And the result that you receive is so beautiful, is not less beautiful than a grown-up garment or accessory. So I understand why everyone is in love with making baby clothes. And I don't know if you guys in your country, if you eat sunflower seeds, but we do. Roasted sunflower seeds in their shell. And we have a saying, when something is very addictive, it's just as addictive as cracking and eating sunflower seeds. So making baby sweaters is like cracking and eating sunflower seeds. So now let's talk about my works in progress. See, I even forgot all the knit tube terminology. So my first work in progress, and I for some reason stopped mid-row, which I never do actually, but okay. This is the dotty wrap from Pearl Soho. Once again, not a popular pattern, and a free pattern from Pearl Soho. When I this time around, this autumn, when I decided to go back into knitting after almost a year-long hiatus, I wanted to make something lacy but effortless, both in making and in wearing. And I was looking at actually lace patterns on my Ravelry, all the favorited ones, and all of them were one-sided lace patterns. And then I stumbled upon this dotty wrap, which is the simplest, the most effortless thing you can ever make. It's basically just garter stitch, sometimes broken by eyelet lace. And it's two-sided, which makes it very easy to wear. You just throw it on and you're off to go. You don't have to style it, you don't have to place it specifically. And actually the simplicity of the pattern, that's what got me. I feel that it's very elegant in its simplicity, and it's very sophisticated. That's how I see it. I don't think I am following the gauge that Pearl Soho recommends for this wrap, but I think they are making, well, I'm making it in fingering weight. Yes, I will not be misinforming you. I will just say that I'm not following the gauge, I'm not following the number of stitches. I'm just eyeballing it, basically. I know how much yarn it takes to make a wrap or a big scarf, and I know that I have enough for what I envisioned, and I'm making this one. So just look at it. I love it. I've used up one ball or skein of the yarn that I'm using all, and And the yarn that I'm using is this one. I don't have the paper band anymore. It's 95% non-superwash merino and 5% acrylic. And it's another yarn from this Russian brand Pichorka, and it's called Australian Merino, and it's once again one of my favorite yarns. It's fingering weight, it's 400 meters per 100 grams, and I am using color natural for half of the wrap, and I will be using color black for the second half. Hopefully I will be able to show it to you next time when we see each other. And to talk about another my work in progress, I have to show you my only and most recent purchase. I bought these 3 yarns, 5 skeins of each, because they went in packs of 5. But I don't really need 5 of each, but I still decided to get it. So this is the same yarn. It's Australian Merino from Pichorka. I apologize, my son is playing here. And this is color natural, which is the same as this one. But this is from like 5 years ago, and this is the recent color. And this is just white, and this is bright blue. And I'm showing these to you because I was so inspired by a sweater, a pattern by it's either Lini or Lene Holme Samso. I do apologize for mispronouncing the name. And the pattern is called Porcelain. I will insert the picture of the sweater. It's so beautiful, but it's a drop shoulder sweater. And I know for a fact that I don't like how drop shoulder constructions look on me. So I thought maybe I could take a similar palette and make either a round yoke or a raglan sweater. And this is what I made. And to test this idea, I decided to make another baby sweater. Well, a toddler sweater. My son is not a baby anymore. It's hard to realize that. He's been a baby just a year ago, and now he's already a toddler. So this is what I have at the moment. This is another free pattern from Drops Design. I will put down the name. And just like in the Winter's Night Enchantments pattern, it calls for dots all over the body and the sleeves, and I'm not going to make that, just to kind of keep with the mood and the feel of the porcelain sweater. And I really like how it's turning out. It's so beautiful. I finished the yoke already. The pattern calls for continuation of the motif on the sleeves, but I am completely ignoring that because I'm that lazy. So yes, I love the color combination, the oatmeal color and bright blue. They look so beautiful. She is a genius. I know, of course, she didn't invent it, but she just recently put those colors together and inspired at least me to go for the same color scheme. So this is what I am making at the moment, and the dotty wrap from Pearl Soho. But since I'm a monogamous knitter, I don't actually work on 2 projects at the same time. I'm keeping the dotty wrap on pause and I'm working on this sweater at the moment. I'm holding this oatmeal color double. It's actually called Natural by the brand. I'm holding both of these yarns of these colors double. There's nothing much to say. Oh, and I just realized that I didn't do the elevation in the back, and I can't even remember. I can't really remember if the pattern doesn't call for an elevation or if I forgot to make one. Either way, I should have made one. But you know, I'm sure it will still be nice and comfortable to wear. So I'm working on this guy at the moment, and my most immediate plan is not, well, after I finish these two works in progress, is not a knitting project actually, but a crochet project, which is so weird because I don't crochet at all. And let me tell you the whole story behind how I came to crocheting. So I was looking for a bed cover for our bed, and I just can't find anything that I would like. I've scrolled through, so I've scrolled through so many bed covers, and I didn't like any of them. So of course, as a crafter, I thought, why don't I make one myself? So I considered different techniques. I was thinking lace, I was thinking something simple, knit and purl stitches, I was thinking cables. But then at the end, I thought that for such a large project as a bed cover, knitted fabric was not stable or sturdy or thick enough for, well, at least not for how I envisioned my bed cover to be. So I thought maybe I should crochet something, because crochet fabric is more stable, basically. And I remembered that I had this book in my crafting library. I bought it a few years back for, I don't know, for no reason, basically, because as I said, I don't crochet, and this book is dedicated to crochet only and one technique only. This is mosaic crocheting, and it's a Russian book. Well, it's a book in Russian by a Russian crocheter, and it's called "Самый нескучный плед." Why am I reading this in Russian? Nobody probably can understand it anyway. So, but the author is Yulia Gendina. I was never following her or on Instagram or on YouTube. I didn't see her work, and for some reason I just liked how the projects look inside, and I just bought the book. And when I was thinking about crocheting a bed cover, I remembered that I had this book, and I thought that it's finally time for this book to shine. Let me show you some of the work, some of the examples of mosaic crocheted blankets. Well, basically it's a very simple technique, and you can make them single colored, just with texture, or with many colors, or just two colors, or as many colors as you wish, and it will create a fabric with both texture and color. So here are some of the examples. So you can either use one motif for the whole blanket, or you can make, just as it's shown here, make it in bands of different motifs, and it creates this very cool effect. I think it's very cool. And as I said before, the crocheted fabric is more stable and I think more suitable for a bed cover. Here are some more examples. Let's see even how here we have a high contrast blankets and then the low contrast blankets, and both look very pretty. Here are some more examples. So I got inspiration from this book and decided that next project will be this very large bed cover. And it's such an ambitious project that I think I will have to make it in parallel with something else. It will take me at least I think half a year to make this. But I don't want it to be the only thing that I'm making. I want a quicker result as well. Let me show you the yarn that I chose for this project. So a project like this requires a huge amount of yarn, and I think I have barely enough for the project, just maybe not even enough. But I didn't want to buy any more yarn. I wanted to use just what I have in my stash. So here's the color combination that I will be using to make the bed cover. It's on the lower contrast side, and it's not ideal. If I was buying additional yarn, which I don't want to do, I would add at least a deeper beige to this color palette. But I hope that I will get by just using these 5 colors. And also this yarn is fingering, I think. Oh, it's once again Turkish brand Gazal, and the yarns are different here. I have jeans, which is a cotton acrylic blend, and organic baby cotton, which is 100% cotton. I also have baby cotton, which is surprisingly not a cotton yarn, it's a cotton acrylic blend. Yes, these are the three types of yarn that I have here. And it's all fingering. It's 165 meters per 50 grams. So it's 330 meters per 100 grams. And actually, the author of this book does not recommend using a yarn this fine to make these mosaic blankets, because she says a blanket is a very large project, and if you use something this thin or this fine, it will take you forever to make, and you might lose inspiration and just get tired, and just it might physically hurt because you would have to crochet for such a long time. But of course, I want to use what I have, so I decided to risk it and still make it in this borderline too fine for the project yarn. I was thinking about holding it double, but then I wouldn't have enough for the bed covers. So I decided to risk it and to actually make an ambitious and very time and effort consuming project instead of an easy and fun one. But if I make it, I will be so happy. And this color scheme actually, it's not ideal, as I said, but it fits our bedroom well, I think. I hope. We'll see. I haven't started it yet. But I'm a little bit dreading a little bit to start this project because, oh, it's so large and it's so new for me. The crocheting in general is new for me. Well, I can crochet something like very simple, but nothing, I've never made anything even remotely close to a project that I'm thinking of making now. Oh, and another interesting thing about this technique is that you can either crochet in the round, or you can actually, and what I will be doing, you crochet only on the front side. Let me show you the projects while I'm speaking. You crochet only on the front side of the work, and then when you get to the end of the row, you just cut yarn and start with new yarn from the start, from the front, from the right side. That's what I wanted to say, from the right side of the work. This is very interesting. And then you get fringe on the sides. You can tuck the fringe in while as you go, but you can also leave the fringe, and I'm going to leave it, and I think it will look very pretty. So guys, I think this would be it for today. Thank you once again for coming and staying with me and looking at my projects, at my finished objects and works in progress, at my mystery to the rest of the world yarn, to my free projects, free patterns. Nothing too exciting, but I promise if I finish up my stash, I think next year I want to order something exciting, try some new yarn and order some famous and popular and exciting yarn and try it from one of the brands. Let me know, by the way, what brand should I try first, which one has international shipping, and what should I try. I was thinking about Knitting for Olive, as they have international shipping and their yarn is also quite affordable for the quality. But let me know down in the comments what would you recommend. So my son is here. I'll see you in November, guys. Bye.